"2022 is upon us. Thus, the return of Fantasy from the Fairway." Yeah, the PGA Tour is back, obviously. That's why Fantasy from the Fairway is back. But listen, I'm sure there are days on the PGA Tour when the viewership is higher on Fantasy from the Fairway. I'm just saying. Do you
It's
think I'm
quite
wrong?
possible.
Yeah,
You might be wrong, but who knows?
not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. Fantasy from the Fairway, the return, Sentry, Tournament of Champions, Jenks Jr. along for season 2. This is a continuation of season 2. We hit the fall a little bit, and
Oh Lord, that's not a good performance.
it's very bad. Yeah, so that's where we are after the fall swing. I'm down once again, but what else is new? Scotty Scheffler didn't do it for me apparently at the RSM Classic. Neither did Cooch. Bobby and Kisner. I do remember you being upset with Kisner.
Yeah, I don't think Kisner made a birdie.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Yeah,
tough, and we'll get to Kevin Kisner here in a bit because he's in the field in Tournament Champions. But
shouldn't be.
it shouldn't be not a good performance. But there's always time to recover, and that's
Apparently, it's a hobby. So
it ain't a hobby. I'll tell you right now, it's not a hobby. So anyway, that's the situation where we lie. We'll get to the picks in a little bit. But like I said, Sentry Tournament of Champions, we're back. We got the Plantation Course at Kapalua, obviously held at
Lahaina,
Hawaii for sure.
right? Hawaii,
definitely. Par 73, that's different.
Yeah, there's only 3 par 3s, just the regular amount of par 5s, and then 1 extra par 4.
Yeah, I love it. Can't mess with the par 3s. 7,596 yards. You got the generous fairways. So that means you can hit them most likely. 16 out of 18 holes play under par. So that'll come in as well when we get to the what do we call it? The prop of the week, the lock of the week. I forget.
Prop of the week.
The prop of the week. It's a new part here, Fantasy from the Fairway. We're going to give that to you here in a little bit. By the way, can't go any farther. I have to address it. You shaved.
I did, yeah.
Last time Fantasy from the Fairway saw you, you had a big old beard.
Yeah, dude, it gets really, really itchy. Like, you've had a big beard before. You usually keep a pretty decent beard. It gets itchy, so it had to go.
Yeah, I shaved today, but it was a bit longer. All right. You look different. You look about 12.
Oh, no, it's really bad.
We're borderline going to get flagged for this video saying this kid cannot be giving gambling advice. He's too young.
Right. No, I know. It's really bad. I'll try to guard out before next week.
Appreciate that. And he's rocking a Bradley Beal shirt, so we're concerned. These are the key stats, by the way, Capitol. We got the strokes gained on approach. The numbers you see on the right in the parentheses would be what Harris English did last year in the stats. Obviously, he won. He had 86.11% of greens. He also gained 1.711 strokes putting. Par 5s, he played them at 14 under par and then hit 83.3% of fairways. So those are pretty much the key stats. I think you have a different one.
No, well, I'm using a driving distance just because the fairways are very, very easy to hit. But other than that, same thing.
So you need that distance as well. But those are pretty much the key stats you're looking at. And here's your previous 3 winners. Obviously, Harris English, like we talked about a little bit. Tournament Champions winner. Did not win the previous year. Got in due to the expanded field in the COVID era, which I guess it still is. Justin Thomas, a 2-time winner here. And then Xander Schauffele. Very surprising to see him with the trophy. He should have won in 2020 as well. He did not. Justin Thomas ends up winning that. So those are your previous 3 winners. And this is the 10K and above in the DFS area. So we both rank the 10K and above here. Justin Thomas is an obvious one. Feel free to add more if you so choose. But this is looking pretty similar. I went with Hovland over Morikawa because Hovland's really good, and he shouldn't be $800 cheaper than Morikawa, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I just figured Morikawa, the approach, he's playing well. I figured 10-8 is actually kind of reasonable.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he's finished, I believe, 7th and 7th here. So you're pretty much locked in for a 7th place finish with Colin Morikawa.
I think I'll add this for the Hovland thing. I do like it because out of like JT, Morikawa, Bryson, I think Hovland will definitely be the lowest owned. And I do not think he'll have the worst finish out of those 4 by far.
Yeah, agreed. The ownership probably will be lower for Hovland, which will be odd, but I agree with that. Bryson DeChambeau at 10-2, and then John Rahm at 11. No disrespect to John Rahm, it just I can't pay 11 when I think Hovland's just as good for $1,000 cheaper in a field where there's not enough players that you're either paying like 6K for guys or you're paying like 8K. Like that's pretty much what it is. There's like
I also
four
think,
dudes in the 7K.
yeah, I also think I prefer John Rahm on tougher courses just because I think that's kind of the ballpark where he like pulls ahead of the other people. Like clearly, I think he's the best player in the world, ranked number one. But for an easy course where it's kind of like birdies are flying all around, um, I'm less into John Rahm this week because of that.
Yeah, and he usually wins at the tougher courses too. Obviously, that plays in, and then the distance works well with Bryson, but he doesn't always know where it's going. And if you can't, I
No,
mean, they may be generous fairways, but he's been known to. I
he'll
mean,
miss a few.
he might hit it off the island. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So island's probably not good for DeChambeau because he really has no clue where they're going. But so
Then
that's how I see it stacking up. You got anything else to add before we hit that 9K?
honestly, Rahm's just not even playing well. So I feel like I don't think that many people are gonna own John Rahm. I know it's been a long break. Like all the people who are hot and all the people who are cold, it's gonna all be different because there was that long break. But Rahm's really not playing that well.
For sure, for sure. With that, the 9K, and again, it's a very
It's a packed
empty.
9K.
It's a yeah, it's
And you might be
something.
thinking, I just took the week off from the 9K. Nope, that's them.
There's all three of them,
Those are the 9K.
and
Oh, we got patches.
I can't wait for your explanation of this because I have Xander Schauffele right now in my lineup.
Yeah, so hear me out on this one. I think Xander's going to be crazy owned
Probably.
since everybody's playing all 4 days. I'm just going to hope he maybe shits on one of them. And there we are. And
Okay.
no, like, I mean, it's hard in this tournament because even the 7K dudes, they're going to play well.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah, that's the
it's hard
nature
with
of
this
it.
tournament. So you're kind of just like, you're taking three players who I think are all going to do really well. I'm just going to thumbs down Xander here because of the fact that he's won. He's finished, was it second?
2nd. Mm-hmm.
Second. And then yeah, I just think he's going to be crazy owned because 9.5 super cheap. So I'm just banking on Xander doing something uncharacteristic,
I mean,
whereas Patrick can't play.
you're banking
Yeah,
on something outside of the top like 8, honestly,
yeah.
which is
I mean,
reasonable.
mhm, yeah. I mean, with 40 people too, like if you're not finishing top 10, then
You're not getting the
it's kind of
payoff.
no. It's the yeah. You need top 10s, honestly. Um, which we're just banking Xander doesn't do. Probably will happen because he's one of the most elite players in the world. But
I'm with you.
I
Took him
think
out of my lineup.
I just think the ownership will be high.
Nope,
But
I'm with you. Took him out.
all right.
All good, brother.
No, Xander is very good. I think Patrick Cantlay is going to be not owned at all, considering he hasn't even played this year on the PGA Tour.
True.
Apparently, still recovering from that sunnies.
Oh
But
God, got him. The dehydration.
he's seventh in par five scoring, and these par fives are really, really gettable. So that's why we're using par five scoring because you're going to need to make a few eagles if you want to contend. His approach is really strong as always, and he's a really, really good scrambler. So I think that's going to pay off big for him. But I just don't think he's going to get the ownership because you have Xander, who's $200 cheaper, and
Yep.
hasn't played on the PGA Tour. And I think Cantlay always kind of surprises me, to be honest. So we're going to go thumbs up with Cantlay. Sam Burns is just on fire.
Yeah. Tell you
Like
what.
dude's incredible. So I mean, it's hard to put him thumbs down because at 9,100, I mean, he's been finishing top five, top 10 for the past like 5 weeks in full fields. Now you got 40 people.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
hard to imagine he'll miss top 10, top six,
old
right
buddy
around
has
there.
a chicken trophy. There's
Yeah,
fun. You know what I'm saying?
does.
Sam Burns making the debut in the Tournament of Champions, I do believe. We rolled that 8K, Jenkins, and this looks a little bit more like it. Looks a little bit more full.
Yeah.
Do have some questions. Will need some answers.
Okay.
Lot of quality individuals in the thumbs down. Daniel
Yes.
Berger, obviously that's because you hate him. But Cameron
Correct.
Smith, Abraham Answer, I'm going to need an explanation. It's the start of 2022, and I'm not going to disrespect the mullet and Abe. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay, we're gonna need the answers on Cam Smith and answer. That's correct.
Yeah,
You're good with Burger and M.
not really, but I'll allow it.
All right, now hear me out. Jordan Spieth, his finishes here, he's played here 4 times. He has finished second. He has finished first. He has finished third. He has finished ninth. 2 of those events were when it was a much bigger field than the 40-man events.
Yep.
He's really good at par fives. He's come back and has been the Jordan Spieth that we knew way back when. What was that, like 2014?
15.
2015. So I'm all good with Jordan Spieth. He loves the course. Hideki Matsui is next to 8-7. I'm going to thumbs him up just because of history once again. He has a second place finish here. He has a third place finish here. And he has a fourth place finish here. I do believe last year he finished dead last. I could be wrong.
Can't win them all.
I do believe he was dead last. But 13th in par 5, 17th approach. I'm good with Hideki. Brooks Koepka, I think the fact that he actually had to practice because he wanted to beat Brooks or Bryson, I think that's a good sign. Like, for once, the man practiced.
That is fair.
So if there's any time to roll Brooks Koepka out when it's not a big major, it's right now when he's in his game. He has a third place finish here, 12th driving distance, 25th approach, 7th par 5 scoring. Does kind of suck at scrambling, but we're just going to hope Brooks is on the green. So I'm all good with Brooks Koepka. Daniel Berger, I'm not so big on just because we talked about how, like, we're really shooting for top 10s in a 40-man field. He has finished 14th, 11th, and 10th here at this event. I mean, which isn't bad on any standard, but at 8-4, out of 40-man field, he's finished in the top 25% once. So that's kind of just concerning for me. He's great on approach. He doesn't really have the distance. Good on par 5 scoring. Good scrambler. You should be fine with Berger, but I'm kind of going for the boom or bust here, and not finishing top 10 is not what we're going for this week. Cam Smith, he doesn't drive it very far. He is a godly par 5 scorer. He was first last year, or tied for first. My concern is, once again, the placements here. When he has played, he's only played twice, but he finished 17th and 24th. I mean, he is doing a lot better than he was back when he was doing that. But, yeah, it's just the finishes for me that are going to put Cam Smith in the thumbs down.
Sure.
Sungjae Im, he's kind of, for me, like 96 driving distance last year, 65 to 65th. I just said 65.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. 65th approach, tied 30th par 5 scoring, and 41st scrambler. So none of the key stats that you need in these scores kind of pop out to me. And just for that reason, I'm going to put him thumbs down. He's another guy, like Cam Smith and Sungjae Im are more people where, like, we're all playing 4 rounds. So the people like Finau to me and Brooks are more appealing because they can go crazy low and have really good days, where like Cameron Smith and Sungjae Im, Abraham Answer are like the definition of consistency. Like, make the cut, 4 or 5 under.
Yeah.
All
That's
that.
fair.
So that's kind of what I was just thinking in a event where everybody's playing 4 days unless you quit. And then once again, Answer, he just doesn't drive it very far. He's only played this course once and he finished 17th. I really, like I was saying earlier on the night game, like, I don't dislike any of these players. I don't think any of them are going to do like horrifically bad. It's just trying to pick which ones are going to not finish in the top 10, top 15. And then Finau, like I was talking about, he just can have those days where he shoots like 10, 11 under and go off. He's drives it very far. He's good on approach. Tied 35th par 5 scoring. He finished 9th here last year, I believe. So yeah, we're good with Tony Finau at 8,000.
Yeah, and rumor has it Tony Finau can go ridiculously low, and I'm guessing that's what you were banking on right here.
Yeah,
as we get to the prop of the week, a little new thing.
Absolutely.
So here's how it's going to roll every week. By the way, Jenkins Jr., otherwise known as Kevin, as you see there. I don't want to give out his full information if he's not about it, but Casey Kurtz with you, fancy from the fairway. DFS usually, but we're doing the prop of the week starting this season. And it's pretty much first round leader because that's a fun bet. You know what I mean? And then you've also got, I screwed this up, didn't I?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter at all. But yeah, so I picked for my prop. We figured this would be a little bit entertaining in case you're not like solely DFS and you do prop betting each week as well. We figured we'd do a couple props each week for you guys. I picked mine lowest round of the tournament over or under 65. I went under with 64 or better.
I would
I think
also
somebody
go
will.
under.
Yeah, I think somebody will reach 9, 10 under.
And then Tony Finau, obviously, you kind of defended that just a second ago
Yeah.
with his ridiculous low ability. So here's the thing. I'm going bucket here. Joel Damon plus 5,000. Here's the thing. These are his first rounds so far this season, starting from the longest to go to now. He shot a 68, 67, 65, 70, and 65. Old Bucket knows how to do it in the first round. The other rounds are pretty much what confuses him. He has been known as a first round golfer. He wishes the tournaments were one round, get those locks. When he gets to the senior tour, he'll probably be a problem playing only 3 rounds. But Joel Damon, they call him Old Bucket, rumor has it, due to his hat. And he will be the first round leader. And that's an easy way to make a lot of money, plus 5,000. I can't even imagine. I might have to throw 2K on it and just quit my job after that. By the way, you can find my job, ESPN 690, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch.
I was gonna say something about that because it sounded a lot like you were doing your day job here when you said I'm not gonna give you government information, but then you hit him with the K curves.
Yeah,
But
listen.
yeah, shout out to you, dude. If you're watching this, watch the show. It's really good. Him and Brian Middleton do a great job.
Appreciate it. So yeah, I didn't read the slide. I was multitasking, but I think there's going to be a playoff. The last 2 events have ended in a playoff, and when 16 of the 18 holes are considered birdie holes, and you have the best players in the world, there's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the playoffs usually are extended playoffs. The one 2 years ago was Thomas, Xander, and I forget who the third person was. I think it was Patrick Reed. And they played multiple holes last year. Harris English and Joaquin Neiman played multiple holes. So I think
it's a fun tournament for a playoff because that 18th is a par 5. So
yeah,
very, very entertaining when this event goes into a playoff.
And it's obviously reachable in 2. That's usually the goal, but there is some risk if you aren't necessarily accurate. So I think
we saw Joaquin do that last year.
Yep. I think this thing's going to a playoff. I do think as well, lowest round over under 65. I'm rolling with it under as well. As we roll into that 7K, and that's it, folks. That's the 7K. Those are the boys. We do have a couple names we left off because, frankly, it's just listen, if you got the salary type thing. Patrick Reed, though, is a for sure go, like I mentioned, the playoff a couple of years ago. His finishes here, and he's played here quite a few times, folks. 21st, 2nd, 25th, 6th, 2nd, 1st, and 16th. He did not play good in the fall at all. He was actually very bad. He will be low owned, I imagine, due to that. Sleeper for sure. Patrick Reed is an obvious. You should play him in your lineup. Harris English, he did win last year. He did not make a single cut in the fall. He did play better at the Hero World Challenge and then the QBE Shootout, which are unofficial PGA Tour events, so it doesn't really count. But he did play better. He played in them. Let's put it that way. He had a withdrawal and 2 missed cuts in his official events. So I'd stay away from him at the price because of lower options like Jason Kokrak, the boy. He did finish 35th here last year. It wasn't pretty, and that happens sometimes with Kokrak, but here's the thing about Kokrak. Fantastic putter, world class. 29th on approach, fantastic. Distance, all of it. He's got all the distance, all you need. And he doesn't sacrifice the accuracy for the distance. He hits a lot of fairways. I believe it's 68% or just under or just over 68%. So he's a quality option. He just won the Houston Open, 3 wins in 13 months for Jason Kokrak. Officially, he also won an unofficial event. So, guys, on fire, has been on fire for the last 13 months, and it's definitely an option at this event. Taylor Gooch, he let me down. He was incredible in the fall. He won. He had, I think, 4 other top 10s. He had one event that he didn't finish in the top 10, and it was the one I picked him to win. So that was a great experience for me. He is a fantastic approach player, a great putter. He does not hit a lot of fairways, which is surprising, but the ownership percentage is likely going to be through the roof, which is why I don't have him on either slide because I can't advocate for it when it's literally going to be like 80% owned. But he's definitely not a thumbs down, but I just can't roll with it because Leishman, the boy, is never owned. I continuously let you know why you shouldn't play Mark Leishman. Not this week. No, sir. No, ma'am. If you're listening. Leishman 4 of 4 in the fall. 3 of those were top 20s. In total, he finished 24th, 4th. So this is at this course. I didn't write down the actual finishes, though. You can't win them all. At this course, though, 24th, 4th, 7th, and 23rd. So he does have the quality finishes here at the 7.5 price. You have to be interested in that. 45th on approach, 13th putting in the fall so far this season. So Leishman playing quality. It's the big fellas playing well here. Kokrak and Leishman.
Do you know he also has his own beer company?
I did know that.
Yeah, I tried to buy some, but they don't ship it to the United States. So
yeah, it's in Australia, right?
It was unlucky. Yeah.
So if you're in Australia checking it out, check out Leishman's beer company. I don't know what it's called.
Leishman Lager.
That's that's right.
Just has a nice ring to it.
It does. The Leishman Lager.
Yeah.
Feel free to check that out. Pick yourself up a nice pint in Australia if they use that metric system. Not really sure if that's even metric. Kevin Na is another guy you can find in this range. His finishes here in his career, 38th, 32nd, and 12th. He was not great in the fall. Hits a lot of fairways, walks in a lot of putts. Maybe a flyer, maybe a flyer on Kevin Na. He will be cheap. And then the last member of the 7K is going to be Billy Horschel. Again, played here a lot, 24th, 25th, 11th, 22nd, and 6th. Nothing really stands out there. His only start in the fall, he finished tied 33rd. I think there's some risk there when there's some other decent options in the 6K as we keep the roll going. Again, pretty much almost done with the field. There's not that many people in it, but Siwoo Kim, Cameron Champ, and Max Homa are all the top of the 6K, and I say no to all of them for some different reasons. Siwoo Kim on approach in the fall was horrible. He was even worse at putting. He loses 0.201 strokes per on average per round, whatever it is. 153rd on tour, not good. 114th on approach, also not good. 38th and 10th here. So there is some boomer bust with Siwoo, but I'm not rolling with him. Cameron Champ, not enough fairways, literally barely over 50%. I can't. I know it's not a lot of salary, but when I like the guys below him, I can't spend it on Cameron Champ. And then Max Homa obviously wins in the fall. He finished 25th here last season. He is major boomer bust. So if you're going like super boomer bust, then Max Homa is your guy. This event is, I guess, relatively close to California in a sense, and that's where he usually excels.
Sure.
But I'm not rolling with him. But if you're going for all the boom and all the bust, Max Homa is your guy. The boy Seamus, otherwise known as Seamus Power, coming in as a brown thumbs up, which means sort of, kind of. Yeah. Listen. I don't have a lot of good things to say, but he has never played here. That should not surprise you. Most people going forward have never played here, so we'll just get that out in the open. He was 4 of 6 in the fall making cuts. All of them of the made cuts were top 21 finishes, 3 top 12s. He does not make a lot of putts, so that will be a problem for him. But he played all right in the fall. Probably not going to be owned very much. Seamus is an option in Hawaii. Did I skip some? No, I did not. I did not pull Phil Mickelson on the graphic, but here's what I don't understand about this. On PGAtour.com, it says Phil has not played since 2001. There's no way that's correct, or he just skipped it every year. Because he's won more than.
Maybe this event was below him.
It could be.
Yeah.
And now he's just happy to be invited because he finally.
Right.
So shout out to the boy Phil. Once again, distance will not be an issue. Fairways probably will be again. Candidate for leaving the island. Him, Champ, and DeChambeau could all potentially send one into the Pacific Ocean. I do believe. Maybe not. But either way, it is indeed the ocean. Garrick Higo, again, very surprised to see him in the thumbs up. It's a new territory for me here. He's obviously, once again, never played here. He did win the Paul Meta Championship in South Carolina. Does not hit a lot of fairways once again. He's an okay putter. The approach is decent. Probably should be brown, but he's not. He's playable. That's the best thing I can say about him. Cam Davis was not good in the fall. Can't do it. Brendan Grace as well. Lucas Hebert, 1 for 4 in the fall. The only made cut was a win, so that's kind of weird. But he did win an event, but still I can't roll with it. He's one of the ones that's just happy to be here. Then we get to bucket, of course, Joel Damon, the boy. 5 of 5 in the fall. Great on approach, great putter, great fairway hitter. This guy's going to be the first round leader. Might as well win the dang tournament. Joel Damon at 61. Get the bucket hats out, folks. EVR was okay in the fall, but again, can't roll with him. And there's a familiar face in the thumbs up. That's KH Lee. He's back. He just spoke to students at the University of North Florida, which blew my mind. When I saw that on Instagram, I was just disappointed I didn't get invited. I don't know where my alumni email was, but he was at the Golfplex at the University of North Florida, KH Lee.
What ties does he have to UNF?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. But yeah, it popped up because,
I'm on it.
I follow KH on Instagram, obviously, naturally. And he was over at right here. Yep. So on December 15th, there's the boy KH speaking to the students at the UNF Golfplex. I had a class at the Golfplex. It was called Golf Class. There he is with some people at UNF. So my only question is, and no disrespect to KH, but how did the speech go? Like, did he have a translator? Like, does it lose something? I don't know. Love KH Lee to death, though. I tell you what, wish I would have been invited, but nevertheless, 4 out of 5 made cuts in the fall, all of which were top 25s. Fairways, approach, all good. He does need to putt. If he putts, here's the thing about KH Lee. I talk a lot about KH Lee. Love the guy to death, right? He can get hot as crap with the putter. Like, if he gets hot with the putter, he could win the whole tournament, and I'm not kidding. The problem is he doesn't get hot with the putter enough. Everything else in his game is fine. He just doesn't putt well. Consistently. If he could figure that out, he'd be a menace to the PGA Tour. But right now, he's just in the 6K. KH Lee. Matt Jones makes a thumbs down, unfortunately. He finished 11th here in 2015. Does not approach or putt well enough for me here. Stuart Sink was not good in the fall. He finished 31st here last year. Not someone to look for. Lucas Glover. Hey, it's been a while since Lucas made the trip to the Sentry Tournament of Champions. But he was not good in the fall, so I'd avoid him. And then the last guy you're going to run into, gentleman by the name of Kevin Kisner. Just let you down at the RSM Classic of late.
Yeah.
But at this beautiful course, 24th, 14th, 17th, and 9th from the cheapest player in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, write it down now. He's a top 20 lock. He's guaranteed to finish better than half of the people playing in the event. Fairways, putting, both great. Distance is not there. Not going to lie to you. Approach, also interesting as well. But at the end of the day, Kisner is a top 20 lock. I promise.
I have the update for you on KH.
What you got?
UNF does his data analytics for his performance.
Really?
He works with Dr. Won Young Choi of the UNF Sports Management Program. And they do data for him.
I was a sports management minor from there, and they never mentioned that.
Yep, it's now the home of PGA Tour player KH Lee.
The disrespect.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Goodness, as an alumni, you think they'd pass that, or they should put that in the swoop information booklet or something. I mean, how many students would they get to go there if they knew about KH Lee?
All of them.
The disrespect.
Literally all of them.
The disrespect, I can't take it. We get to the picks. So here's the situation with the picks. If you're new here, we appreciate you being here. Go ahead, subscribe, hit us up on the social media channels as well. You can hit me up on personal Twitter at KKurtz. Again, not going to give out Jenks information unless he's feeling it. But for now, just hit up the Fantasy from the Fairway Twitter as well as my Twitter to find more great golf coverage, as well as ESPN 690 on Twitter as well. ESPN 690 Jacks, I should say. But there will be a golf picks graphic there as well starting next week with myself, or starting this week, tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow with Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and myself. But on these picks, this is how we do it. You can only pick the person once all season, and that's it. You're locked up with them. The top 25 has to be under the 8K, so 7, 9, and below. And Jenks, I know you're looking for this information, so I'll give it to you here in just a second. Yeah, here it is. So here's who you've picked so far this season. You picked Hideki Matsuyama, you picked Aaron Wise, and you picked Kevin Kisner. I have picked Webb Simpson, Taylor Gooch, and Scotty Scheffler, which means the only reasonable thing for me to do, I know what you're thinking, I'm not going to do it, but I am going to pick Patrick Reed. I think Patrick Reed can win here. I think he will win here. I think he will shock the world because people the disrespect has been there since the sickness in which he had like double mono and COVID, wasn't playing well. I think he gets it back on track this week and wins the Sentry Tournament Champions. How about yourself?
Yeah, this is going to be shocking, but I don't think I'm ever going to pick him again. So I'm going Mark Leishman.
Mark Leishman.
Yeah.
I like it. Mark Leishman to win the Sentry Tournament of Champions from Jenkins Jr. the third. Junior, now this one you probably did see coming, and it's pretty straightforward. Give me the bucket on my head. That's old Joel Damon. Will finish inside the top 25. I just told you Kisner's a lock, but folks, I'm telling you, he's going to win. He's going to lead the first round. He's going to fall off in the second. It happens. He's going to make a strong push in the fourth round and finish inside the top 15. That's Joel Damon, but he's going to be top 25. And here's the thing, Junior, I just thought about this. 40 men in the field, top 25. This should be a no-brainer. Should be able to get this one locked in. That's what I'm going to do with the old bucket hat.
Right.
But boy, I'm setting myself up for something if it doesn't work out. What was it?
I'm going to go Gooch.
Gooch?
Taylor without the Y. Yeah, Gooch.
Old Gooch. Okay. I like it. So there it is. As we get you the full screen here in just a second. There it is. Mark Leishman, Taylor Gooch for Jenkins Jr. the third. I've got Patrick Reed and bucket hat himself, old Joel Damon.
I just want to point out how funny this screen is when we're playing the Sentry Tournament of Champions.
That's a good call.
It's supposed to be the 40,
That's a very good call.
This is a funny looking screen.
Yep. Well, hey, listen, you got to be a champion to get in here, and that's what Joel Damon said at the door. He said, "You're damn right. You're damn right." Okay. But hey, Taylor Gooch is just as surprised. Leishman, been there, done that. Patrick Reed, come on. One of the goats of the sport, without a doubt. I think that's going to do it, Fancy from the Fairway, for the Sentry Tournament of Champions. We'll be here all season long. Junior got a laptop, so things are building up again. We're going to get him a microphone or something. It felt like a weird Microsoft Teams meeting the whole time. Shout out, I guess, sponsor us, Microsoft, even though I use Apple or Apple. We're open to any sponsorship really at this point, or Toshiba Handybook would be good as well. I remember Cartman got one of those and he was very disappointed about it when he didn't get the iPad. But nevertheless, that's Fancy from the Fairway for the Sentry Tournament of Champions. Like I said, like, subscribe, do the things. We're going to be doing these all year. We're on social media. Those will be active again on the Instagram, on the Twitter, TikTok as well. We'll be on the talk and the tick once we figure out how to actually post a video. I'm taking classes to learn social media as we speak. Junior, any last words?
No, I mean, Kaya, just to let you know, nobody else cares. Kaya turned 1 today.
Really?
Yeah. So happy birthday to my dog, I guess. Yeah, there it is.
Like she's actually 1, or you've had her for 1
She
year?
had some puppy treats. No, she turned 1.
Okay.
1 year old. She had some puppy treats. We got her some puppy ice cream and everything. So naturally, she's been having diarrhea.
Naturally.
So yeah, that's how we're going to end Fantasy from the Fairway this week.
All right, very good. Well, our dog turns 3 coming up in February. So that's since we're doing dog birthdays right now, might want to mention that. But well, that's a good way to end it. You go enjoy my dog birthday, and I'll go enjoy just another Tuesday night. I believe there's a bowl game on, but yeah, football. I'll watch anybody play football. Yeah.
Okay, you said bowl game. I thought you said as in the Chicago Bulls were playing.
No, they played yesterday.
Okay, cool.
I know you see my Chicago Blackhawks locker back here.
I do, yeah.
Anyway, we're rambling. Fantasy from the Fairway. Appreciate you. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week. Sony Open.